Hello and welcome to the Climbing Daily Friday Gear Show, and today we're going to be talking about skincare products. And bear with me here because skincare is absolutely vital to climbing. Whether it's repairing skin or regrowing skin, getting your hands ready for that perfect training session, or just stopping cracks on cold days from developing into flappers, the way we treat our hands is hugely important because let's be honest, we're climbers and we put our hands through hell. Now, the way we use skincare products will be different for every single person because our skin is different between every single person. If you're buying makeup or moisturizer, you don't just get one brand. You try it out, you see what works, you see what reacts well with your skin type. And it's exactly the same with the stuff I've got here. So for example, I know that I've got fairly quite dry skin, so I need a more greasy product for me. But it's kind of a trial and error thing. You need to try lots of different things and see what works for you. When you're at the crag, borrow someone else's skincare or buy a few or try a sample because you will hit on the right one that works. Now, my own personal skincare regime is pretty simple. I try to keep my nails fairly short, but not too short, otherwise I find it just bruises on crimps. I use one of those little sandpaper file things to take off the little edges on my skin, and I kind of never got that before. I always thought, why take out your skin if you're trying to save it? But those little snags can develop into flappers, which causes a bigger problem down the line. And I use skincare. Now, I tend to use this at the end of the climbing day. So I'll put it on, have a chill, maybe have a beer, go to bed and wake up expecting my skin to be better. Now, it won't be a miracle cure, but some of these things I've got in front of me will help you. So we're going to start by looking at Rhino products. Now, these guys have quite recently sort of burst into the scene and they seem to be all over social media. There's a raft of top pro climbers who are using them and swearing by them. So we thought we'd look at that today. Now, Rhino have a variety of different types of skin repair and products. So the one I've got in front of me here is the repair section, and it's this little cream that you simply squirt onto your hands, rub in, and it's got a really nice menthol-y smell. And this kind of disinfects your hands as well as repairing and preventing it from damage. Now, what good skincare does is it doesn't soften your hands, but it hardens the right bits and helps grow back skin overnight. Again, I wouldn't necessarily use this during a climbing session, but use it afterwards just to get your hands ready for the next day. They also have this split stick, which I quite like the name of. This is a slightly waxier style of stick compared to that lotion. And this is used, as the name suggests, for splits and cracks. I find this especially good on the top of your knuckles. You know that little bit where you're constantly moving them, and if you're cold, the skin doesn't like it very much. You just rub this on, kind of rub it in a little bit, and very, very quickly that will just smooth it all out and make you feel a lot better. Because this is waxier and a little bit greasier, it might not work for everyone, but for me, my skin kind of loves this stuff and it drinks it in. Now, that's all very well and cool, but where I especially like Rhino products is their dry range. Now, this is sort of an undercover hidden secret within the climbing world, but lots of top pro climbers use anti-hydral on their hands, which dries them out, prevents sweating and prevents moisture. These guys are climbing at such a high level that they need any little edge they can get, but there isn't a huge amount of research about what that does to your skin and if it's a good idea or not. It's certainly something I know nothing about, so it's nice to see Rhino coming in with their own product. With this, you simply spray it on, and it's meant to prevent moisture in your skin for up to 3 days. You then reapply it after those 3 days, and after 2 weeks of solid use, you wait a little bit, wait for your fingers to start sweating again before starting another course of treatment. Now, I haven't used this before, so what I figured I'd do is put it to the test before one of my climbing sessions. Okay, so it's nighttime. I've had a shower, I'm all clean, I'm all ready to have my hands sprayed with the Rhino Dry. Apparently 3 sprays to each hand, then just leave it to dry. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Touch some bits I hadn't got. Okay, that's it. Gonna go to sleep, wake up in the morning, see how it feels. So, good morning everyone, hope you slept well. The Rhino Dry stuff has been on all night. Had a shower this morning, washed it off. Now I'm going to animas for a Climbing Daily shoot in this gym. So, doing a lot of climbing, so it'll be a good opportunity to put it to the test.
Joey! Red thing?
Yeah, so I got excited. I'm going to try something fingery, a red one. My kind of thing, like crimp, slightly overhanging wall and then topping out to the slab.
Go on, Matt. Nice.
Okay, so all of today we've been at the Arcos gym filming for other climbing dailies, and I've been climbing a lot, so the Rhino Dry has been put to the test. And it is really weird, is the best way to describe it. I woke up this morning feeling like I still had sensitivity in my fingers, but it almost felt like there was a sheen over the top of it. And then the more I climbed, my hands got warm, like I was warm, but there's no sweat coming out. There's no beads coming out the end of my fingers. It's a really bizarre feeling. But chalk seems to stay on my hands for longer, and it does feel better on the holds. It feels like sweat isn't an issue when I'm up there. I don't think I necessarily coated it properly. There's one middle finger especially that is definitely more open than the rest of them when I put chalk in. So I think you've got to spread it really evenly over your hands. But yeah, super impressed so far. It'll be interesting trying it for a week, see how dry my hands get, so I'll keep you updated. Now, as I said, that was the first time I've used the dry Rhino, so we'll be using it more and I'll let you know about my long-term test results. Now we're going to talk about a company that I bang on about all the time, which is Climb. Now, they started very small with a few products and they've recently expanded their range, and we've started selling more of their gear in the EpicTV shop. They're a fantastically eco-friendly company. They use recycled packages for their materials. Most of their products are vegan and all of them are vegetarian, if that makes any sense. No animal products in this stuff at all. And they work on this principle that you should be able to eat or at least ingest any of their products, because if you put it on your skin, well, it's going into your body, so it should be friendly enough for that. They started with the Climb bar, and that tends to come in this large size or this smaller size. Now, although the larger size is quite expensive, in fact, the smaller size is quite expensive, this stuff seems to last for ages if you don't lose it. For example, one of these big ones will be at least a year's worth of use. So it's worth that initial investment because it will last you a long time. The Climb products feel quite sort of, greasy is the wrong word, but quite thick. And that's because the Climb bars use beeswax as one of their main products. And if I can get it out, wait, hang on. There we go. You can see it's kind of that lovely yellow texture and color. It smells, I think, absolutely fantastic, but it is very thick. So what I tend to do is put it on in the evening and then let it soak in and then wake up the next morning with new skin. If you don't like the smell, and if you don't, there's definitely something wrong with you, then they do an adventure bar that is odorless. So if the smell offends you, don't worry anymore. Now, if space is an issue in your packing, you might want to check out this Climb hand tube. Exactly the same as the normal Climb bar, except it comes in this nice little rollable packaging, push-up packaging thing. And it's also very recyclable, which is good if you're an eco-warrior. Another thing I like is this Climb all-purpose cream. This is more of a lotion, as you can see, like more of a sort of more lotiony in its texture and substance, but still with that beeswaxy little kind of color to it. What I like to use this for is in between your fingers. You know when you get like really dry skin and you don't want to sort of smother it with moisturizer because your hands will be all soft and ridiculous. This stuff makes sure your hands are moisturized and hardened without softening them up, which is a great little touch. Another new thing for me from Climb is this muscle paste cream stuff. Think about this as like chilled out deep heat. You rub it on your muscles either before or after a climbing session, and it reduces pain, increases blood flow, and gets your muscles all relaxed and ready for climbing. This was actually produced for Tommy Caldwell because he's so often in cold environments, think halfway up the Dawn Wall for example, that he needed something that just activates your muscles, and this is the product for that. Now, on the EpicTV shop and Climb they have two versions of this. One is called Ridiculous and one is called the Muscle Paste. They are exactly the same, they're exactly the same cost, so you basically just pick the one that you like the packaging of the most. Personally, I quite like this red, but you know, each to his own. Now, the final product range I want to talk about is Crimp Oil. And this, as the name suggests, is more of an oil than a balm or a cream. I really like the original Crimp Oil. You simply put that on your fingers and it prevents joint ache and joint pain. And think of this more as like a healthy tonic rather than a skin rebuilder. So that's the original Crimp Oil. And then the muscle spray is also cool. And what's good about it is it's got anti-inflammatory properties. That means that, you know, when you start crimping and your hand sort of seize up the next day, I remember having to turn on taps sort of like this when I first started climbing. With the muscle spray, you can put it on joints and it just eases that swelling and inflammation within it. So it's a nice little handy tool in your box of skincare products. And that is it. This is kind of the whole point of skincare. And I said it at the beginning, but you need to try different types and different products will work for different things. So use the Rhino to dry your hands out, use Climb On in the evenings when you want a thick layer, and use Crimp Oil for those sore muscles and joints. You can really pick and choose out of all of the stuff we've talked about today to build that care package for you. Now, as with every show, my opinion only counts so far. I want to know what you guys are using. Do you use any of this stuff? Does it work? Is Rhino a load of rubbish or does it dry out your skin? Do let me know by commenting below, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Thank you so much for watching. That's the end of today's gear show and it's the end of this week's Climbing Daily. See you soon.